At problem 3. First thing I do is what, boys and girls? Add the wholes, put the equal signs on, okay? We're going to need about four sets. We can adjust that later. Now, if I am going to estimate what two whole numbers the sum will be between, what do you think here?
7.
7 and 8?
Yeah.
What if I add 2/3 and 2/5? Is that going to get me more than one whole?
Yeah.
I don't know. 2/3 is pretty close to one whole. So I'm going to guess between, should I guess between 8 and 9?
Yeah.
Or do you still think 7 and 8?
8, 9.
8, 9, 7 and 8. How about 7 and 9?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing we do is separate the whole numbers from the fractions. So 2 plus 5 and 2/3 plus 2/5. Now when we get to the problem set, we might skip writing 2 plus 5 and just add it in our head and make it 7, okay? But for today, I want to separate each step because this one helps us on the number line. So put a star by the first one. Now I get to 7 plus. Are these like units? Are these common denominators?
No.
What are the denominators, by the way? 3 and 5. So the common denominator for 3 and 5 is what, boys and girls? 15. We sort of have that one memorized. Okay, so do you remember when I was on my iPad and I just drug this 2/3 right down here? Okay. And I'll drag the 2/5 here. Okay, so 3 times what equals 15? 5. Hint, it's right here, isn't it? So what's 2 times 5?
10.
Okay. Aiden and Jasmine, how you doing? Have you done this before? No? Sort of?
I've done mine in a different way. I usually just put in a line.
Okay. Just keep going, equals equals across the line. Okay, so 5 times what equals 15?
3.
So I'll multiply this fraction times 3. Now whatever I do to the top, I have to do to the bottom, okay? So we've got 2 times 3 is, so this is 7 plus 16/15
Oh, it's
equals,
8 and 1, 15.
okay, so let's not add it in our head. Tell me what to write here. What would one whole be? 7 plus 15/15 plus, how many are left over if I take out 15 from this? 115 equals 8
And 115.
and 115. That will be the answer we have to mark on the number line. Now, that tells me my highest whole number is what? 9. So let's get that on there first. All right. So which one has a star by it? The first one. So we're going to fly in out of the air. What's this bunny hop going to say? Plus 2. And it ends up on what whole number?
2.
Very good. You have a good memory. Then what do I add?
5.
Okay, and I'm just going to kind of go plus 5. And that takes me to what whole number?
7.
Okay, so what am I missing here? 8. Okay, now don't freak out about the 1/15th, okay? We'll get to that in a minute. But what's the first fraction I'm going to add here? 2/3. So how many tick marks to show thirds? 2 tick marks. And I'm going to add 2/3. And then I've got to show 8 and 1/15. I've got to put my answer on here. Okay? Okay? I'm not going to make 14 tick marks. I don't have that much time. 1/15 would be just a small, tiny bit, wouldn't it? So let's just kind of guess. About right there?
Yep.
Sure. Write 1/15 down. Circle that. That's your answer. Okay? Now you're going to hop to the answer. That's why it's very important to get your answer before you even start this number line stuff, okay? What did I add? So I'm going to write plus 2/5, and I'm done. How's it going? It all came back to you, didn't it? Let's do another one. Okay. So what has been happening is our sum has been between, not between 9 and 10, because if I add 3 plus 6, it's 9, right? But between 10 and 11. Do you think that's still going to happen here? Between 10 and 11? Yes or no? What do you think? I mean, both of these are close to one whole. Do you think it's going to go up another whole?
Yes.
I don't know. We're going to have to wait and find out. Okay, so how many equal signs?
4.
4. First step is what, DNA? Break it apart, move it around. Take your whole numbers out. Separate your fractions from your whole numbers. Okay, so now I have 9 plus, and we have to find like units. To find like units, we have those 2 sets of parentheses and a very long line. That's our strategy. 7 and 3. What do you think? Okay, 9 plus blank 21st. Remember? Who looked that up for me? Mason?
Wait, yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, 21st, not 21s.
First.
Right. Okay. So this 5/7, Jasmine and Aiden, look up here. This 5/7 just gets copied down here. And this 2/3 gets copied down here. And if you have an iPad, you can drag it, can't you? Okay. So 7 times what, Faith? Equals 21.
7 times 3.
Okay. So the numerator right here, Josephine, what is it? The numerator for the first fraction.
15.
15. We multiply 5 times 3. Okay. 3 times what, Carson, is 21?
7.
Okay. And we're kind of getting good at this. We can just switcheroo, can't we? So 2 times 7, boys and girls, what is it? Oh my.
29 is a big one.
Okay, so 15 plus 14, Grant says, is 29, 20 what?
21.
Firsts. Okay. That equals 9 plus, if I take one whole out of here, what would it be? 21 21st? And then I've got how many left over between 29 and 21? What's 9 minus 1? 8. So 8 21st equals, so 9 plus 1 is,
10
and 8 21sts.
20.
Go ahead and circle that. That's your answer. That's what we will put on the number line here in a few minutes.
Oh,
Now,
start at the top.
start at the top. We forgot. This one is what we'll use to do our bunny hops. Now, this one tells me what whole number is my highest whole number. What? 11. Because 8 21st is almost halfway to 11. Okay, so my first whole number is what? So I'm going to fly in and mark what up here? Plus 3. Takes me to the whole number of 3. And then what do I add? 6. So plus 6 takes me to what whole number? 3 plus 6, what is it? 9. Okay, what whole number is missing?
10.
Very good. Okay, my first fraction, what is it? 5/7. So I'm going to need how many tick marks to show sevens? 6. All right, so 5 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do I write up here? Plus 5/7. Now here's where the kids get confused because they think they have to go ahead and do 2/3 next. But no, what are we going to mark next? The answer's going on here. Now I'm not doing 20 tick marks, are you? I'm going to look at this. What would half of 21 be?
11.
11 and 10 and a half, right? So this is a little less than half. So kind of going to eyeball it. Here's half. Maybe there. And I'm going to write 8/21. Do I need to move my 10 over? Probably. If your 10's close enough, you can just circle it all together. Now, how did I figure this out? I figured out what half would be. 10.5, right? And I decided, okay, 8's just like 2 less than 10, so it's a little less than half. All right, so my next step, just hop to the answer. And that's what kids have the hardest thing. Carson, what's my fraction that I'm adding? Plus 2/3. Am I done? I am. You guys did great. Is there one more problem or 2 more?
2 more.
Good, great. Are you glad to be back to regular math class?
Yes.
Me too. Enough assessments. Okay. Oh, look at this one. I don't know. You think it'll be between what and what?
8.
7 and 9? He's probably right. I think it's going to be between 8 and 9, right?
Yeah.
7 and 9 is a safe answer.
It'll be 8.
Okay, let's keep going. Equals, equals, equals. This, oh, we need 4, don't we?
Yeah.
This one will be the one we use for the number line. Now I remember why I had the kids write that one last year. It was just the number line we needed it for. So my first step, Faith, is to do what?
Add the 2 whole.
Right. Separate the whole numbers from the fractions. Two and 8. If we do the multiply our denominators together strategy, we would end up with 16. But if we do this skip counting thing with 2 and 8, I called it least common multiple. Let me count by 2s.
2. LCM.
What's your least common multiple?
8.
8. So let's use 8 instead of 16, and then we won't have to simplify. Okay? So 3 plus 4, what is it? And we're going to make like units. And we're going to use 8. Or 8s. Okay, so I take Jasmine and Aiden. Answer my question. What do I write here?
1/2.
Good. What do I write here?
7/8.
Good. Okay, Aiden's got this. Jasmine, is that what you were going to say? Does she know I'm recording and she's afraid to talk? Okay. So 2 times what equals 8? This is different. Focus. Can't just write a 2. 2 times what equals 8? 4. So 1 times 4 equals 4. 8 times what, Edwin, equals 8? He already answered it. He said 1. So 7 times 1 is, so basically this fraction just stays the same. Okay, you'll get good enough at this, you'll just be able to write that down. So now I have 7 plus, what's 4 plus 7? 11 eighths. Okay, so what would 1 whole be?
8 eighths.
Okay, 7 plus 8 eighths. And then how many are left over between 8 and 11? 3. So give me the answer, Jesus. Give me the answer.
8 and 3 eighths.
8 and 3 eighths.
I knew it was an 8.
Okay, and you knew it was going to be an 8?
I called it.
All right. Now, if we would have used sixteenths, it probably would have been 6/16 and we would have had to simplify. Okay? So when you get to your exit ticket and you get to the end and you have to simplify, that doesn't mean you're wrong. That just means you probably didn't use the skip counting strategy. Okay? I moved your simplifying fractions list over there. It's right behind Jesus if you need it. Okay, number line. So the first number on my, whoops, what's the largest whole number I need? 9. Bye. Okay, so the first number I'm going to add is what? 3. That brings me to what whole number?
3.
What are you thinking about? How could you skip one of these steps?
Yes. Yes.
Now, I'm doing this whole thing right here, this last equal sign, to help you with Zern when you get to it, okay?
What lesson is Zerna supposed to be on?
I guess 10, because this is lesson 10, so we'll get on there and see here in a few minutes, okay?
I'm 11.
I'm on 10.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, so now what am I adding?
4.
4. And that takes me to what whole number? 7. I've written it several times already, haven't I?
Yep.
Okay. And then halfway between 7 and 9 is? Good. Okay, now the first thing I get to do is 1/2. Well, that's going to be fun. Yeah. So plus 1/2. Okay, now when I do 7/8, is that what I do next, or what do I do next? I put the answer on there, right? Now, what happens to kids is they get mixed up on their steps, so maybe we need to write a list on the board or something. But the answer goes next, so I've got to stick this answer on there. I could do 7 tick marks easily and mark 3/8, couldn't I? Okay, so I'm going to do that. If it's not easy, then you just think about what half would be. But this is easy. Divide it into fourths and then divide those in half. Okay, so I'm going to show 8 and 3/8, 1, 2, 3. And that is my answer. Sometimes I told the kids last year, put a little point there so you know where your answer is, so you know how far to hop. Okay, now I'm going to add 7/8. Forgot to circle that, didn't I? All right. Now we have a certain method to our madness around here in 5th grade math. And part of it is circle the answer so the teacher can find it easier. Right? Okay, we have one more problem and then we'll check Zern. And see how it's going.
I'm on 10. I checked yesterday.
Okay.
18.
Oh my, look what we're starting with here.
Oh my.
Thank goodness I got away from that start with 0 strategy. What do you think, what whole number do you think will be between? Now this is almost 1 whole and this is almost 1 whole. But it's still not going to make 2, is it? Okay.
22 and 23.
So 15 plus 7 is 22.
What about 21?
23 and 24.
23 and 24. We're going to see if that's right. Okay, 3 equal signs.
4.
Yeah, sorry.
I wish they had gave us more room.
Did I give you enough room?
No.
I'm sorry. I needed to move the number line down farther. My bad. Kind of just make this up as I go along. Okay, first step, sort of. We're not really breaking anything apart. That would be decomposing. But we're going to sort it out, right? Whole numbers and fractions. Good. So 5/6 plus 9/10.
60.
Oh no. Because you want to practice simplifying? Okay, this was 22, right? Okay, let's get it set up to find like units. So Isabel wants to multiply 6 times 10 and do 60, and then we'll have to simplify at the end.
No, stop it.
Isabel, stop it.
No.
Yeah, stop it.
You know what? I want to practice simplifying one, but let's find a smaller one to practice simplifying. Oh, I'm just going to do it her way. Okay, get it written down. It's not going to hurt you. So our common denominator is 60 this time. I know there's a smaller one. Don't you?
30.
Let's see. 6, 12.
18, 24, 30, 36, 42,
Oh, yeah, I was right.
You were, Grant. For once, your thinking out loud was correct. Okay, so our answer will be 30ths. We'll have to remember that. Okay, I like your song, by the way. What goes in the first set of parentheses?
5, 6, 9,
Okay, so 6 times what equals
10.
60. So 5 times 10 equals 50. 10 times what equals 60. So 9 times 6 equals 54. Isabel, you're killing me here. Okay, so 22 plus 104 60ths. Okay, so what would one whole be?
66.
Okay, so 22 plus 60 60ths. Plus, how many are left over? 44?
Yeah, 46. Yeah.
40. What's 104 minus 60? I hope it's 44.
30.
44. 30. It's
I
44.
mean, yeah, my bad.
44.
Okay, whew. Starting to worry about my 5th graders here.
When?
Okay, so this is what I get. 22 plus 1, 23, and 44 60ths.
That's a big fraction.
Now what do you think I should divide by to simplify that? Why do you say 2? Because we know 30 is going to be our answer, right? So everyone divide by 2.
You forgot the star.
I'll get to it.
Mason.
Okay, so don't interrupt my train of thought, Mason. So 44 divided by 2 is what?
22.
Uh-oh. That can be simplified.
Yeah.
It's not a 2.
It's not a 2?
Mm-mm.
It's a 3.
Start 3.
You want to try a 4?
Yes.
Yes.
60 divided by 4 is what? 15. Okay, 15 won't go into 44, but it could be our answer. So let's divide it by 4. Ellie, you're onto something here. So 44 divided by 4 is what?
11.
And 60 divided by 4 is,
15.
so my answer, rewrite it if you ran out of room. 23 and,
11.
so this did not give us our answer. It only gave us a common denominator. Okay, highest whole number?
24.
Very good. What do I start with?
Plus 15.
So fly into the whole number 15. have you visualized yourself jumping in?
No.
Yes. Like,
Oh, in the pool, yeah.
In the pool? Well, no, this is the number line.
Oh,
Reality.
Okay, plus what?
jump into the number line.
7.
That takes me to what number?
22.
22.
Then we have to put in section.
Now I need a 23, don't I?
Yes.
Okay, so what's my first fraction?
5, 6.
Now that I have my star on there, Mason. Plus 5, 6. So what am I going to mark here? 6, right? 5 tick marks. 6 pieces.
Oh.
So plus 5 sixths. I don't really want to separate that into 15ths, do you? So let's think about what half would be. 7.5, right? So that's about right there. And I'm going to go 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's not very big. Maybe right there. Okay, so this would be 23 and 11/15. Last and final step, hop to your answer, write the fraction you're adding. Okay.
This never let it go.